You were there for 10 days solid, and you guys meditated like all day?
Yeah, I went with my girlfriend. We did 10 days, no speaking.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
I know someone else that did one of these. So how did you feel about it?
I thought it was probably the best experience of my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, like I had
not talking for 10 days.
It was, yeah, because basically, you know, you go through different stages, right? So you go through the first stage is you're like, dude, why am I here? Why did I do this? This is the worst thing ever. and then you're like, wait a minute, like I can't quiet my mind down. Why not? That's the whole goal. Why can't I do it? It's not, you have resistance to it. And you're like, I'm a crazy person. I'm like thinking about crazy shit. Like, what the hell am I doing?
How much did you meditate before you did the 10-day retreat? Did you at least gear yourself up to it?
No. Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, you know, like an hour here and there, nothing.
An hour's a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Very long time to meditate. I used to meditate frequently for about 3 to 15 minutes.
Okay. Sure.
And for me, that was totally fine. But like, I feel like I just get kind of bored after an hour. Because I mean, like you said, a 15-minute meditation to me is a long one because your mind is going to start, you're always quieting it. It's a constant quieting of it, you know? Yep. And I got to the point where like I would see really cool shit, like really cool visuals of like random like ash falling over. Like it would look like fall, but it looked like volcano ash coming down. Like I would get really crazy cool visuals. Just I would listen to they were like Tibetan gongs or whatever, stuff like that. I would usually listen to sounds. You know, some people don't listen to any sounds, no input, but I like to listen to the sounds because it makes me like help to not think about anything. I'm just like hearing the sounds, but trying not to like focus too much on them. And then, you know, close your eyes and then I would start to see like cool shit. Nice. I fell out of meditating. I don't really know why, because I did feel it was very beneficial.
I think it helps your baseline at a certain point, and then you feel good, and you're like, oh, maybe I don't need this as much. And then a year later, you're like, why am I getting in a fight with my girlfriend? And you know, like shit, you're like, fuck, I need to like meditate again. And you know, and so yeah, for me, like so the speaking, you know, so like you're quieting your mind, it was kind of half of it for me to kind of like be able to go to sleep and you know, get good sleep. You know, getting kind of ready for that. But the meditation retreat itself, man, there was one time there was a scorpion that was in one of somebody's shoes and you can't talk. And so this guy's in the hallway and I'm going through, he's like trying, we're doing like sign language.
I think I would have made an exception. Scorpion in the shoe.
No, like you're not supposed to kill a mosquito. Like it's like full on like, you know, Buddhist stuff. And, yeah. And I was just like, oh, he's like, we're trying to like communicate, like, how do we get it out of here? And like, I'm like pointing at things and we got like this newspaper or something and like moved it over, like piece of paper, moved it over. And yeah, like, and then we like at the last day you can talk. And so we were chatting about it, but yeah, during the entire 9 days, I think it is, you basically realize that you're crazy. And then you start to actually put in like some real work. Like you wake up at about 4:30 in the morning, you're meditating until about 9 at night. And, you know, you get 2 meals unless you're a veteran, like it's your second time, then you just get like basically 1 meal.
So there's some people mixing some solid fasting with it.
Oh yeah, solid fasting happening as well, and that keeps you alert. And I made the mistake because I ate, because you know Goenka, you know, I did this one in Dallas, and the guys Goenka, they have this recording of him. He's an Indian dude, great teacher, but he's like, don't eat too much. He's like, leave about 1/4 of your belly like empty so that you can be alert. And I'm like, no thanks, dude. I'm gonna eat a lot of food. And I ate all this food, and then I'm like tired and miserable because I'm like nodding off because of the carbs, you know. And so yeah, so from there I didn't do that. But yeah, I got to the point, it was about day 7 or 8 where I like legit had my body, like you're trying to scan your body with Vipassana. Okay. And so I had like legit like sensations in my body. Now, you know, I've always been an atheist. I've never been, you know, religious or anything, but like, I'm like, wow, like I didn't know you could get this in tune with your body. I didn't know that this was a possibility.
Kind of doesn't surprise me though. If you sit there and your brain is controlling this entire thing, you know, like unconsciously, you know, you can decide to move your hand, but all the important functions are going on without you thinking about them. So to me, it's not very far a line to draw that like, if I sit around in my head all day, I could focus on a particular, like my finger, and I can like push blood to it. Although you're not thinking I'm pushing blood to it, you're just focusing on it. So your body focuses on it. There's a dude that can control his body temperature and massive ups and downs and through meditation.
It's like Wim Hof or somebody else.
I don't know. It's probably that guy. It's probably like the most famous guy for like,
yeah, you know, the guy who climbed Everest or something in his boxers, that guy, the breathing technique.
Yeah, it might not be him. Maybe though. It's a guy that like controls body temperature to a way that like astounds doctors. So like this shouldn't be possible. Without having a physical workout. You know, like you could just
Okay, I think that's somebody else.
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking
sit there
about,
and like literally like severely increases body temperature.
Yeah.
And you know, people say that like they can focus on a finger, a hand, and like they feel the vibrations and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So you're saying that makes you a little more spiritual? I think that's just like, to me, it's just even more science. It's like, this is a powerful machine, you know, and if you focus solely on training that machine, it's already controlling all these functions. It's just, you're not aware of them, and you can just become more aware and in control of the things that it already can do. To me, that's not spiritual or magic. It's just, you know.
Yeah. For me, it was more the fact that it's just getting out of your head. So like, you know, your head, you're always like thinking logically and trying to solve problems, basically. Like that's what your mind wants to do, you know? And so you find a problem and you're like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, can't wait to solve this. And with that, it's like, you know, being able to kind of let go and be in tune with literally the vibrations of your body in general. It kind of gives you an experience where you completely forget about certain things being important. Like for instance, like, you know, my girlfriend did it with me, and like her and I, like half of the time we're like, this is really hard. Like we want to, you know, go bone basically. And then we came out of this, and I could understand how a monk could not have sex for 30 years. Like I understood it. I'm like, I get this because I'm so happy with myself and with who I am that I don't even need anything else. I don't need anything extra in my life. Like I could get by with literally just the bare minimum and be at complete bliss. And so that's what I mean by spiritual, is like, it's more of an attitude. It's more of a way of being than it is, you know, thinking that God is controlling my vibe. I don't know what, you know,
that makes perfect sense to me. So it's like, you know, it's a higher appreciation of just the basic human senses and your general existence. It's like, we're in a world where
it's also not senses though. So the one thing that he teaches you is that you shouldn't just concentrate on your senses, because if you concentrate on your sense, then what'll happen is you'll have a reaction to that sense. So it's basically at its core, it's non-resistance to life, right? So for instance, when you're scanning your body, you're going to get an itch. There's one time where you can't move for an hour. Every day you can't move for an hour. It's called, I forget what he calls it. It's like strong focus or something.
By the way, how much did this cost?
Nothing. It's free.
It's okay. So you just go.
It's donation based.
Dude,
you should do it. It's great.
I need to do one.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
But the point is like, look, it's resistance based. So like if you get an itch, and so it's like, what do you do about the itch? If you're just concentrated on your senses, then you'd say, there's an itch. I want to get rid of that. Why can't I get rid of that itch, right? That's like you're feeling your senses. And so what you do with this practice is you go past that. You go past that to what he calls equanimity. And he says, you don't judge what happens. You let it happen. You're like, this is life doing what it's going to do to you, right? So it's like, I literally had fleas on me for about an hour and didn't move. Like, no joke. I had fleas bumping, because you walk out in the woods and it's like fleas out there. And I'm just like, this is a test. This is like a test for me to not go insane, basically. And so doing that, like, you know, brought me back to equilibrium, where now, then when I got out of the retreat, I didn't even need to, you know, go instantly, you know, have sex with my girlfriend or do anything else. It was like, I didn't need anything. And so I had reduced cravings, you know, like the desire. Like, this is what keeps people poor. This is what keeps people from having like wealth, is desire, right? Like he talks about this in Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he's great. And but he talks about fear and desire. This is what makes people spend money. It's like, I'm afraid of this, I'm going to go spend money. I desire this, I'm going to go spend money. And if you can get rid of those two mechanisms, which in its essence is kind of like equanimity, which is what, you know, Goenka is talking about, or Vipassana is around, then you can start to be like, you not need anything. You don't have to go spend that money. You don't have to go get that cheeseburger. You don't have to go, you know, ruin, you know, your diet or do anything like that. It's like, no, you can be, you know, kind of be at peace with what is. And that helps you for fasting too. Like if you're fasting and this is kind of your mindset, or this is the way you're looking at the world, then, you know, you can do things that most people would never be able to do. Like the monk who sets himself on fire, right? How does he lives? well, he doesn't live, but how does he like
Oh.
barely move? Like he's sitting there meditating as he's on fire.
Oh.
It's like, how does he not move?
Oh.
It's like equanimity.
Uh-huh.
He's just like,
yeah,
it's insane.
It is a powerful thing, and something like meditation, fasting. I think that's you're touching on one of the great benefits of it that maybe isn't communicated to people that well. Like people communicate all these more, detailed concepts and all this stuff, but like one just simple thing you can say is like, it helps you with your self-control.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
It helps, like, and it's almost kind of like a dopamine fasting type concept, It's like,
dopamine fast.
you just go without food for a little while. It's amazing to me. Like, it is not a big deal. I did a 2-day fast last week, which had been a while since I'd done one that long, but I used to only eat once a day. So a 24-hour fast every day. Like,
yeah,
you're way more focused, dude. Like when your stomach is empty, like you'll get hungry.
You're in the zone.
But then you just don't care and you forget about it and the hunger goes away. And the more you do it, you just don't care. Like seriously, you are the most like tuned in when you're on little food. And like you said, when you ate that food and you got tired, it's amazing what an effect. This food is like a sedative.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah.
I was on vacation with, the family vacation, and there's home cooked meals all every night, which is great. I love that stuff. But like, that's when I came home and I didn't eat for 2 days because like I just felt full for 7 days. I was like, I mean, that's my own problem, but
mac and cheese.
That's part of being there, and that experience is just kind of pigging out and eating all that home cooked food.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I just want my stomach to be empty for a while because it's just sedates you.
Yeah, I do that every morning. I don't eat any food until about 2 or 3 p.m. every day, and then I eat like a little bit of food. And yeah, I actually still drink decaf coffee, so I'll do like decaf coffee with MCT oil in the morning, and then that's the replacement for me to be focused. So it's like good night's sleep, wake up, decaf with some MCT, so you have a little bit of energy from the MCT, and then from the fats, and then I just can just go crazy.